Vietnam veterans did not get the support when they came home. But one of the good things that came out of it, I think you will find that the Vietnam veteran today is the most supportive of the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, because we knew what it was to come back and not be appreciated. And we've supported generals and senators and congressmen who realize that it's not the soldier or Marine or that determines where we go, where we fight. It's our politicians. So if you got a gripe against the veterans, you should be griping against the person who you elected who sent them there. You know, I mean, I feel very fortunate to live in a country where our military does not determine our political outlet. We don't have to worry about some soldier coming up and sticking a bayonet in our guts, but the price for that is you better elect people who are a little bit more discriminatory about how we use our veterans and our armed forces, you know. My advice to any politician is when you get into a war, listen to your veterans. Listen to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Somebody like Colin Powell says, you break it, you own it. I would listen to that. He knows what he's talking about. Well, I'm on the board of the National Veterans Foundation, which is one of the few groups that doesn't try to compete with the other groups. Veterans will call us and we will recommend them to Wounded Warrior. Basically what we do is if a veteran needs a loan, a veteran's loan, they don't know how to do it, they call us, we direct them, we guide them through the process. If they need therapy, especially for post-traumatic stress disorder, we show them where the clinics are within their area. So we're a service to all the other groups. I think one of the problems a number of veterans groups has, they're all good intention, but they're within competition of each other, and we really shouldn't be. We can consolidate a lot of these programs and funnel the money more to where it's needed. You know, we've lost almost 3 times as many Vietnam vets from suicide than we did in the actual conflict. And we're starting to see that with the Iraq vets, we're starting to see that with the Afghani vets, where there's not enough support at home. There was a lot less problems in World War II, and it wasn't just because it was a different war. World War II, you know, when it ended, people just didn't come home. We had millions of troops around the world. It took months for them to come home. Well, during those months, the soldier, the Marine, was with comrades who had shared the same experience. It was a self-therapy. And I think we could work a little bit more on those lines, like literally letting somebody out with 3 months to go in the service and saying, no, you will spend those 3 months with these people who experience the same thing. We can make that part of the actual service to have a group therapy. That's one step, but there are other things we can do. We can make it easier for veterans to get to groups, support groups in some of the remote areas, you know. It's hard, you know, somebody comes back and they get sent back home to Iowa, and there might not be another, I mean, how many people are in Wyoming, period, you know? So the vets are scattered. We got to have a focal point where they can meet and gather. I'm a Marine, you know, and we have a lot of pride in service, and I don't know, even to this day, whenever I do a play, a lot of my Marine buddies come. We don't lose contact. You know, we have literally what I'm talking about. You know, my captain on Okinawa, Captain Fulford, became four-star General Fulford. He still comes to my plays. We might not agree politically on a number of things, but without a doubt, he's the finest man I've ever known. I think there's a number of things we can do to prevent war that we don't take. I think the greatest American who ever lived was General Smedley Darlington Butler. He received the Medal of Honor 3 times, the only one to do that. And he wrote a book, War is a Racket. And he said the first step to stopping war is make it illegal to make a profit. I think that should be the #1 thing. Why people can make money by putting young men and women in harm's way is beyond me. It makes no sense. Also, any politician who votes for war his children should be the first to serve. I think there's some practical things, because war should be the last resort, and sometimes I feel it's the first course of action. A lot of tongue wagging, and let's get into a fight. There's other ways of doing it, you know. And then once you're in it, listen to the military. They know what they're doing. Especially today, I think young kids have to realize it's not a video game. These video games are making war look glamorous. I think every parent should take his child to a VA hospital and see. It's a hell of a price to pay. Now, sometimes it's worth it. I won't argue with that. But make sure you know what you're doing before you get into it. And let's not glorify what these. I saw one video game where they scored points by how many heads they shot off. You know, and here's some little kid playing. Well, you know what? It's not a game.